Hello everyone, Jill here. Welcome back to my channel. I started this video thinking I was recording and I wasn't. So the first part is already established for my spread. This is the YouTube Hop for February, and we're focusing on everyday stories. And the everyday story that I'm going to tell, this feels really weird because I've said all this, but it got lost. So I'm starting over. The everyday story I'm going to tell is about our cold winter here in Michigan. We have unusually cold and snowy. It's snowing right now as I film this, hence the kind of weird light. And the poor little geese, they huddle into their bodies and put their little heads under their wings when it gets so cold. And so I took quite a few photos of them, and I'm going to use those photos to tell the story about how cold it's been. And I guess the first thing I'll point out is that I am using a cut-apart sheet from Graphic 45. I got the whole set of months because you guys know how I love these month sheets. And this is really, so I cut the January out of here, but there are other like blocks I can use that are really cool. And I love the background, which I can use obviously for any month. And I'm going to use on this spread because I'm balancing this with putting this, like, I think it's like wintry sun, right? Wintry sun down here. And yeah, so that's one thing I'm using. I use some stamps from my stash to create the title So Cold. And the inks are Catherine Pooler Lilac, Catherine Pooler Stone Blue. And I thought you were watching me with the stamping I did for the background, but I used Dress Blue and this stamp set called Winter Woods from Simple Stories. It's an older one, but it's one of my favorites. It's been in the store. I don't know if it's still there or if it's sold out. And I knew some of the stamping would be covered up, but I just wanted to kind of to get some texture and color on the background. So, so that's my idea. But I also am going to use this this die from, is this Echo Park? Yeah, from Echo Park, and it's a little branch with snowflakes on it. So, so let's try and put that on. I might do a little more stamping later, but I'm just going to see how things fit. I've with my photos, I just in my editing software just added some frames, and I'm kind of going, as you can maybe tell, with a blue green and a lilac and black and navy for my color scheme. So it's just like chilly, cool colors. Yeah, so this guy will, I think I'm gonna tuck it under. So this is on top. Obviously I can either do that or I can do this. Not sure. Well, I can get a little bit more stamping in here if I move this up kind of like this. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me grab my stamp again. That way you get to see me do a little stamping, which I did in the first version of this video. I don't know what happened. Okay. And so let's go ahead and put a couple of these base pieces down just to orient where things are going to go. Just using a little tape runner. And get the edges here. I like this like really thin translucent paper for journaling and titles and such because it doesn't add too much bulk. So, and we can always shift this around if we decide to do so later, but I kind of like, I can save a little space and get a little more of the snowflake design in, and then I'll have a little space to work down here if I want to put a date or something. Okay, and then let's go ahead and put this. I'm going to put some flip ups and some layers on this side. So, and let's kind of take the largest photo and put it in place. Now, I debated on if I want any of that to show. I don't think it matters too much, one way or the other. I think what matters is this die cut and how it's going to fit on the page. So it's kind of the main thing I wanted to play around with. I had already used this in my journal and it was so much fun, so I wanted to put it in here. And I think that'll be plenty of space, and I might want to do a little more stamping up here. Okay, so I'd already cut out, you can see the branch I cut out of a tan paper, and I like kind of following the way they've got them here on the demo, on the packaging. So let me think. That means I'm going to put this one here, this. I used adhesive paper, which has advantages and disadvantages. So let me talk about that for a minute. When you make die cuts and you use adhesive paper, you don't have to worry about trying to get all the glue and everything. But when you get these little parts out, they tend to sometimes stick to the back. If you've done this before, you know what I mean. And like trying to flick them off is really, really awkward for me. I'm not good with very little fussy things like this, but I do think this is a super cute die set. I'll probably add some more adhesive anyway later, but let's see if we can just get it to stick for the time being. With a lot of these things, sometimes it's just like being patient with your pressure, but I don't feel like I want to be patient. Okay, and then let's do this little guy. Let's see. Often like when I was experimenting with this, I would get these on upside down. So not that it made a huge amount of difference, but I actually think I want this over just a tiny bit. Hope all of this is on frame. Yeah, I guess it is. See, I think I'm going to follow the guideline of lining this up with this. There we go. Those are a little close together, but it's okay for now. Yeah. Oops. All right. I think this will be cute. For a minute there, I thought I had lost. I just used navy blue paper for the cute little ties. Trying to do this without putting my head in the camera frame there. Can go over. I think what I'm going to do actually is move. The nice thing about the adhesive not being very good is that you can continue to move things around a bit. My experience is that it sticks eventually. There, as I said, I'm not used to doing something so fussy on camera, but it's worth it, right? Isn't that not cute? Just a little branch with all these snowflakes, and to tell the story of everyday cold, everyday snow, which is really what we experienced. Okay, this is going to be a really simple page. I'm going to, I pulled out some of this teal tape from Simple Stories for a little touch of washi tape. But the other washi tape, which I think is nearby, that I wanted to use, will give me a little more translucency for my flip ups. If I can get my eye on it. Here it is. There's always something, right? Always something that I need to go in search of. Okay, so so we got this on here, and we want this pretty much to cover. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to find a piece of this tape that has some of that lavender color on it. So bear with me with my washi tape application here. See if I can get roughly. I'm actually going to turn it around so that the white part has the color on it. There. And when you do the flip ups, you don't want anything like over the edge of it. So I'm just going to take that off and get this roughly in place here. Hazel's being quiet today, but you can hear her chewing on her bone. Okay, up a little bit too high. Again, we love washi because it's very forgiving and lets us go back and start over. There we go. I'm going to adjust that a little bit more. It's a little bit low. There we go. And then I have one more photo. And so I am trying to think. I think I wanted this to like flip up. You can see that these little guys are not sticking right now. This is a very full TN too. So, okay. So let's do the same thing with the same tape. Again, I'm gonna try and find a little of that purple. Don't need as much because we're having it flip up the other way this time. So have you gotten addicted to these flip ups? I think that they're so much fun. If you watched any of my videos, you know that I'm like doing this all the time these days. One of the nice things about it too is it just buys you a little more real estate, as it were. You have more room to stamp or to add journaling or whatever. Here, good, good, good. I have some scissors. Amazing. There. And that might not be, it's not, not really straight or in place. We want the photo to cover it, and yet, there we go. Good. Hazel's just about ready to bark, but we're just about done. Yeah, so I wanted to just demonstrate a few things, like using these monthly papers, and I think it's kind of fun to have it poke up twice and then see the sun underneath. I know I'm going to probably add a little more from this stamp set. I'm going to pull out some sequins. I'm going to definitely add my finishing touch of sequins. Look at these Patagonia. They're just perfect with those lilac and blue colors. Yeah, Hazel's going to cough instead of bark. That's okay. And then a little Mykonos if I wanted a little bit more of this color, which I probably do. So I'll probably add a little of that. And as I said, this Simple Stories tape has some nice echoes of that color that I will probably apply, and then those will be my finishing touches. And then I'll have this story of our cold, snowy days in January in my TN, which is almost done, and one of my everyday stories. And I guess I'll just say that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being patient with all the like back and forth, but I think you see how much fun this little die set can be. And so I hope you're having fun telling your everyday stories. Be sure to hop along to everybody else's on this YouTube hop, because there's some really great inspiration. And if you leave comments on each video, you have a chance to win some store credit at a cherry on top. See you next time.